Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. Hokey smokes. I don't know why my biochemistry is working the way it is this morning, but I took my ADHD meds at almost 6 o'clock, and at 7:17, I don't feel like I'm on any meds at all. The day has been zooming. It feels like 5 minutes ago I got up at 5:30 a.m. So yay. But past that, not a whole lot happened yesterday. Did some thinking, did some editing stuff. I got videos to record today. I still have to make phone calls. I mean, one of them is I have to make an appointment for a colonoscopy. I mean, it's been a couple of years now since the last one I had, and they cut 20 polyps out of the inside of my colon, so kind of important. Also, as a really minor thing, I think I'm starting to get a Friar Tuck thing going on, with the ridge of hair, because it's getting thin, even thinner up here. I mean, up until I was like 50 or so, 50, 52, I had a full head of hair, and it's just gotten thin fast. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to have this here, because this has been driving me nuts. My part has been moving down this way. Part of that is because of the strap of my sleep apnea mask. But this part's getting like fluffier and thicker than this part. And so it's standing out here. And so I gotta cut that part shorter. Anyway, though, welcome to getting older. It's gonna happen to everybody. And just as a minor aside, I mean, I've talked before about my alcoholism. I mentioned this before, but I'm gonna mention it again because I saw a post on Twitter or Facebook, I can't remember. This one woman was celebrating that her husband was a year sober, and so bought him a hedgehog. And so I posted that on Twitter and went, yeah, it's not easy staying sober. I have been roughly sober since the year 2000. I have fallen a few times, especially after the death of my wife, when I deliberately drank for 4 months. But the shame is not in falling down. We're all human beings. The shame is if you don't get back up. I've always gotten back up. And the fact that I'm alive is amazing. I mean, really, literally, I blew a .544 on the breathalyzer. And, at point 2, you're drunk. Point 3, you start falling asleep. Point 4, you have problems staying alive. At point 5, you're supposed to be dead. And I remember that night. And, of course, after they did a blood check, they check how your body is doing, your liver, your kidneys, and all that. And they check things like how much ammonia is in your system. And they had never seen a living body. They had only seen, corpses and autopsies that had as much ammonia in their system as I did. So I'm freaking lucky. Every single day I'm alive is amazing. So thumbs up on that. But some of the things I wanted to talk about, because a lot of them are just minor, but that's, all part of life as well. One of the things that happens is I've talked about how I leave my window open 24/7, 365. And my studio room here that I use as my office has spiders in the corners, and I don't mind that now. Spent most of my life arachnophobic. Now I'm not. So it's actually, I like the spiders there. And I had a spider crawling on me earlier from today, and I just blew it off and went flying. And there's the spiders up there. Not every day, but some days I'll walk in and then it's like I gotta get the webs off my face because they'll put webbing across the door because I'll leave the door open so the cat can go in and out through here. Cat boxes in here, cat food's in here. So all sorts of little stuff like that. As a minor aside, up here there's a large spider that's like in this area, but you can't see it. But it's a pretty big spider. And one of those little body, great big gangly legs. And I had noticed that there were a bunch of little tiny spider bodies up there the past couple of days. And it's like, oh no. Spider eggs hatched and they all starved, and now it's just little dried bodies. I was looking at the spider up there in the corner, and she was moving. And there were a bunch of those little tinier spider bodies. And then I noticed they're still moving too. There's a bunch of little babies up there. They're not gone. They haven't perished yet. They're new. and they're still moving around and hanging out in the web, and that's like really cool. I feel so protective sometimes. It's just ridiculous. So thumbs up on that. There's spiders, everywhere, and not everywhere. I mean, there's like, I could probably count like 3 grand total, but it's cool. I still like spiders, but I just wanted to mention that. Thumbs up. Also, I'm going to talk about this one because I posted a video that I had put on my creative channel, which I'm only posting about once a week there because I don't feel creative great urges every single day. And if I have a song mutilation, that takes time. If I have one of those weird prosetta things, pronunciation guides, they take time. And I'm still working on my stuff with the, cosmic horror framework, that's the word. So that's taking time. And I'm not getting a lot of views there, so, that's not really affecting my decisions, but it's just, it takes time, and with my ADHD and how neurotypical I am, I'm getting there. I'm still working on it and still trying to decide what I'm going to do with the game channel. Whether make up a new one or just go with that one, I'm not sure. We're going to work on it. But, what else was I talking about? Oh yes, the video that I posted last night is dark. Dark, but in a lot of ways it's kind of 14-year-old edgelord. I'm wearing, I've got my hair dyed black and I'm wearing my goth, clothing, and I'm going through a phase. Kind of dark. So it's dark, but not especially, and I did some of that silly stand-up stuff to try and take some of the edge off. That was modified from another thing that I had done, where it was one of those H&R prosettas, but it came out so dark. There was nothing edgy about this one. It was just dark. And when I was halfway through it, I just went, no, and backed away from that one and did this. I'm working on some that are still really dark. So, this H&R pronunciation guide, H&R prosetta pronunciation guide on this one is for acts of charity. Oh boy. So, thumbs up. But also, I just want to... This one I gotta gush about again. I've gushed about in the past with the game Ion Fury. And this is a rumination on not just that game, but just video games in general and such, because I've talked before about how interactive the game Ion Fury is. And it was built using a modified version of the build engine, which is 20 some odd years ago. They did, Duke Nukem and Blood and Shadow Warrior and all that. They had interactivity just insane way back then. Interactivity was just built into the engine. That has largely died out because there is a huge emphasis on, graphics and all that. So if you're spending time on interactivity, that's time you're not spending on the graphics. That's time you're not balancing the weaponry. That's time you're not making sure that all the things are where they should be. If you're programming an interactivity, like when I got an achievement that only 7% of players have, when I grabbed a dart off a dartboard and then threw it just to see if I could. And I got a bullseye and an achievement for making a bullseye. 7% of people who have played the game have gotten that. You're adding interactivity for things that people largely aren't going to do. And that's again, you could be spending that time on textures and making sure things work well. But Ion Fury is like those old games. Everything is interactive. You can blow some things up that you wouldn't expect with your weaponry. Stuff explodes. You can shoot pictures on the walls. Clocks break. Halfway through the game, I was running through an area and there was a black object in the room. It wasn't modeled really well. I couldn't really tell what it was. So I decided to take a look at it. And I realized it was a piano. It was a big old black grand piano. And I thought to myself, I wonder how interactive this is, if at all. If I interact with it, is it going to play a tune? Because most things, you hit it, it plays like a predetermined tune. So I went up and I took a look at it. It was not just simple textures pasted onto an object like a keyboard. It looked like a keyboard. So I hit the interactivity key on the keys. Each individual piano key is interactive. You can press on it. Not only that, each individual piano key plays the appropriate piano note. It doesn't play a tune, each key just plays the note. So you can play whatever you want. I started at one end, hit the interactive button, ran my view across the keyboard. Every key in turn went down, played the thing like I'd ran my finger across it. How many people are going to stop and play with a piano in the middle of a firefight or trying to find all this stuff? How much time did they spend making that piano look good? Modeling the keys, texturing, making sure that when you hit a key, it played the appropriate note. And it's just sitting there. Not even an achievement. A lot of time, a lot of effort, and most people are just going to go, oh, piano, and then keep going. When you're doing all that interactivity, yeah, it's awesome. It's incredible. It takes time away from other things that most people go, that's more important. Because why do all that with a piano that people are just going to walk by and maybe go, looks nice. And yet, the game is full of that. As individual human beings, they may be problematic with their homophobia and transphobia that's still in the game, and they're leaning into it. At the same time, separating the art from the artist, they may not be great individuals on that particular point, but they know their stuff when it comes to that game. And I am still playing it on my third playthrough, and Hokey smokes. First playthrough, easy. Second playthrough, pretty easy. Third playthrough, the first mini boss that I was able to tank in the beginning, it was hard. It was hard. Took me a good half hour and more, and I barely scraped through it with next to no armor, next to no health, next to no, I had no healing stuff. I was hurting, but I made it. And they do that on purpose, because before you get there, it says, "Do you sure you want to go in there?" And then you do, and you can't get out. So whatever weapon you have is largely it. And then you're in there, and there's ammo and other pickups to be found, but they're rarer, and they're usually dropped by bad guys, and there's a lot of bad guys, and it's a bad fight, and it's not easy. And they do it on purpose, because as soon as the battle is done, they throw another weapon at you that really would have helped at the time. And then within moments, you are fully health, you've got lots of ammo, and you've got health things again. So it's, I'm not looking forward to the other mini boss fights and actual boss fights. Hokey smokes, but I did it. It took time, but I did it. So I'm going to solve it for the third time in a row. Maybe, if I can get through the boss battle on the third difficulty. And if I can, then it's back to back in it again. So, thumbs up. Past that, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I've horrified, but I should understand that as well. This is something completely different. I've been watching various things where they have all sorts of AI and filters so that you can sound like whoever you want. There's that one Chillis fellow, you know, number 15, Burger King foot fungus. If you want to do the accent, that's good, and it's stuff to practice, but you can just pump a script into an AI generator and sound exactly like Chills. So I like the things that take work instead of just having a machine do it. But I'm old, so maybe that's just a generational thing. Let's see, is there anything else on my list over here? There's a lot of stuff, but nothing that I can just do in moments. So, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. Now, I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read them afterward. Thumbs up the ones I do. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and even though I caught an American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, fibro, partially treated ADHD and such, I'm getting better, but I'm going to hit a functional limit one day. We have Atom, thumbs up and thank you. Paul de Guzman, greatly appreciated. Rin, thumbs up. Then there's Ice Damon, thumbs up and thank you. ARXSYN, who's not exactly wonderful, but still nice to have left a comment. Sard 778 returns, thumbs up and thank you. Thank you for the info. Ollie B, thumbs up and thank you for understanding the reference. And then Johnny K, thumbs up and thank you. Ryan Kahn, RAYYAN, hopefully I'm close, thumbs up and thank you. Zach Goodrich, greatly appreciated. Paul, thumbs up. Tekadon, greatly appreciated. And again, Zach Goodrich, thank you so much for helping me get through that level. I forget everything, even with my treated ADHD. It's hard work to remember stuff, so thank you very, very much. Then we have Dylan McCabe, greatly appreciated. Jose Camillo, thank you. The Premium, greatly appreciated. Team Fash, thumbs up. A Bizarre YouTuber, thumbs up and thank you. Rob Horror, greatly appreciated. Good to see you. TXKSR6, thumbs up and thank you. And that is it. Each and every person that left a comment, thank you so much. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. Definitely a thumbs up on that. And if you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com, and if you could become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. If you'd like to help me out financially without sending money through the patronage, I have a PayPal link below, and I have no money and no money to buy food, and I'm hurting because I haven't. If you could help out, that would be awesome. If you want to help me out without sending money, I have a Amazon wish listing down below with things like cat food. I can't speak English all of a sudden. Do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. If you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation you get from my existence. Definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell, excuse me, on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Greatly appreciated. Also, as a quick aside, one of the founding members of the band Slipknot passed away from a form of, it's multiple sclerosis, I believe it was, and so rest in peace. But for the rest of us, the covfefe bug is still raging around the world. It is killing like crazy, and even if you don't die, you do not need the lifelong complications from it. Get vaxxed. Wear a mask. Stay away from close-up people, especially if they're not wearing a mask. Maintain that social distancing. Wash your hands. Try not to touch your face. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's getting so bad again. We're about to enter another lockdown in the U.S. So, yay. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is, well, quite frankly, a very good thing, I think.